All right, so this is something I really don't do, which is buy a semi-mystery bag of Lego for what I think is too much money. This was at Goodwill. It was $30, and I passed it by. I said, there's too much junk, too much trash in here. I came back the next day, and it was still there, so that means other people agreed with me that it's not worth the gamble. But I just recently sold a one Lego minifigure for quite a bit of money. So I thought this might be fun just to gamble with this. I did see several minifigures in here, official, genuine Lego, but I see a lot of trash. I even saw some little pieces of wood. There's fake Lego, really fake Lego. There's things that are not even Lego. And then I did see this hole in here when I came back the next day. So I don't know. I'm thinking this either ripped or somebody maybe stole a figure or two out of here. I didn't see anything spectacular, but I just thought this might be fun. So I'm going to have several categories, but we'll see. I'm just going to dump this out and we'll see what we got. I won't spend too much time right away on just regular things like this is trash. That looks like a long piece of hair. All right, we got a school bus, which that looks like to be Lego. There's a figure inside that is definitely not Lego. So that will go with the trash. That's Lego. Lego. All right, so we got two figures so far. That's the top of the bus. Another Lego. 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 Let's see. I don't know what that is. It's like Minecraft or something. Like, see, this is why I was avoiding this. Here's checkers. Now, things like this, I do like junk artwork, so I can actually use some of this stuff. I can use a lot of it, actually. Not that that justifies spending $30. Oh, I forgot to mention, another thing that made me feel it was okay to gamble was I did get a discount from my job. No, I'm not a veteran. I don't want anyone to think that, but I work for a hospital system, so they gave me a discount. I usually don't ask for stuff like that, but since I was going to gamble on this thing that I knew had a lot of trash, I figured that I would do that. That's Lego. Harry Potter. I mean, look, there's pencils. I'm just going to try to get all the minifigures out, and then I'll sort through the garbage. Which there is a lot of garbage. Right, that's Lego. That's good. Let's see how many figures we get. There's another figure. Yeah, that's Lego. I don't know if that's Ninjago. It looks like it could be. I was hoping for some Ninjago, because that's the figure that I sold for a lot of money. And I had 2 of them, because I have 2 boys, and I bought them. Wow, that's really, look how fake that is. This guy I did see actually through the bag, and I noticed that he's really bad. His head is worn, and his arms are cracked. But the hair piece is probably good. This is really old Lego. Let me dump this out here and let's see what we see. The surfboard. Another skeleton. That's not Lego, is it? No. What's that? Let's see. I think that's Lego. Not Lego. There's a Star Wars helmet. Another Lego, I think. Yeah. Lego. I think that's Bionicle. Oh, another Lego. I think. Yep. Another Stormtrooper helmet. Whatever that is. Yeah, so from $30, they took $4.50 off the Lego burger. So I don't know. After selling something online for like $500, I figured I'll take a risk. It's like a Bionicle type helmet. Another Stormtrooper body. Lego hair. 2 of them. Lego hair. I don't know what these are. They seem like I've seen these. I thought they were like math tools or something. Another hair. Ugh. Checkers. Cars. I don't want to go over everything that was in the bag. I will say from the get-go, the majority of the Lego bricks and pieces were actual Lego. These are the only pieces right here that were not Lego so far that I found. Actually, these are Lego right here. But we have a big pile of Bionicle Technic type pieces right here. I think there might be at least a couple of figures in there. Have these blocks that I was talking about. Lots of little cars that aren't worth anything. Checkers. We have the checkers in the back. The fake figures. There's trash. Like there was a piece of wood, a hair barrette, piece of metal, things like that. There was not a lot of that, but enough. Pencils. We had ourselves here about, I don't know, 7 or 8, 9, 10 rocks maybe. 1 bean. But let's get to the good stuff. So as far as figures, I think there's going to be about 20-ish, 21, 22 complete figures. I didn't really count them up right. And what I will do is, because I'm not familiar with all these genres, I don't know what these are. So I'll take a shot of these, and then I'll do a Google image search. If any of these have some great value or any value at all, I'll just take a picture at the end and show what they're worth. And besides that, then I have a couple gallon worth, tub worth of Lego, which I'm going to wash, and clean up. I might find a few more pieces. I'm getting kind of hungry, so I'm going to quit now. But there wasn't a whole lot of trash, and like I said, I could find maybe some use for this other stuff, but I probably won't because I'm trying to clean up all my art supplies that I have already. Alright, so I did look up the value of the figures on eBay. I'll get to that in a minute, but before I get to that, I'll say I didn't know, but these are all Fortnite figures, and this is from a Fortnite set, the bus, but it's missing a lot of stuff. There was balloons also on top, like air balloons, hot air balloons, and this set over here is also from Fortnite, the burger shop. I think most of that is there, but I'll try to put that together. And then this is from Harry Potter. I think most of that is there, but I haven't really gotten into that. Actually, I just found part of his foot here. And besides the figures, I also have all this stuff, which is, I call it Bionicles, but I forget what it's called. Technics or Bionicles. And now let's get to the figures. Alright, so I want to share something that most people probably know, but just in case someone doesn't know, if there's a Lego figure or even a brick or a piece that you don't know what it is, you can take a picture of it. That's my hand, that's my picture. I use Google Photos, and I tap up here on these dots, click on Google Lens, and it's going to tell me immediately what it came with. And then I can tap Bricklink. Bricklink is one of my favorites to find things. So Bricklink will tell me how many sets it came in. In this case, it came in one set, it says. And then it'll tell you prices, which are all over the place. I don't know if this is going to come through, but there's one for 35, one for 5. So I don't use Bricklink as a guide for value. I use eBay because it's current and it's pretty accurate. So I said I didn't realize that these were Fortnite, but now that I do, I just Googled, I searched on eBay Fortnite minifigures, and then I searched sold items. So the value of what these are approximately what they sold for, not what they're listed for. Anyone can list them for any price. But this guy sold for $15.95. These are all recent sales. This girl here, it says it's a Fortnite beach bomber. She sold for 10. This guy sold for 9. This one sold for 14. And this one sold for 25. So that's just, a rough idea. I didn't search these other ones. These are also from there. But even if you were to let's just say they're average $5 each. You have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, $65 worth of figures right there. And that's not including the other figures like the Stormtroopers, Batman pieces. So this gamble worked out. However, I will probably hold on to these for now. I think they'll probably go up in value as people that played Fortnite will get nostalgic for this stuff. But and I don't have to sell them right now. I'll just hold on to them and see what happens with them. But unfortunately, this will probably mean I'll try to do this again at Goodwill, but I'll probably be a little bit more cautious and maybe spend a little bit less money, but we did good. All right, thanks for checking it out. I hope you've enjoyed this video.